Florence built a cathedral so vast that no one knew how to finish it, a giant circle of stone, too wide for any dome known to man. For decades, the greatest architects stared at this impossible gap and admitted defeat. To understand how a single man could change history, we must begin in the workshops of Florence at the end of the 14th century. Here, craftsmen shaped not only gold and metal, but the future of an entire civilization. A man no one expected, Filippo Brunelleschi, was about to solve the greatest architectural puzzle in history. He was trained as a goldsmith. This was a world of extraordinary precision. From this discipline, he learned something vital: that beauty is born from knowledge and structure from understanding. His mind absorbed the language of mechanical thought. His first great test came in 1401, competing for the bronze doors of the baptistery. Brunelleschi's submission was fierce, yet the judges chose the safer artist, Lorenzo Ghiberti, whose work was more economical. This rejection was a turning point. Brunelleschi left Florence behind. He traveled to Rome, not to admire beauty, but to measure it, to question the past with the eyes of a modern mind. In Rome, Brunelleschi acted as a structural archaeologist. He was obsessed with system. He studied the Pantheon, analyzing its structure. He realized the power of Roman architecture lay in its mathematical foundation, a precise geometry that created stability. Applying this geometric knowledge, he solved one of art's oldest puzzles, too. He codified linear perspective, the scientific method of representing three-dimensional space on a two-dimensional plane. He had united art and engineering into a single language. When he returned to Florence, he was a man who had learned the secrets of the ancient world. And when he stood beneath the cathedral's impossible opening once more, he recognized the question that had defeated generations as the purpose of his own life. When Brunelleschi returned, the cathedral still waited for its crown. The gap at the summit remained a wound in the skyline. To close it with a dome of stone seemed hopeless. No wooden scaffolding could reach such a height without breaking under its own weight. Then Brunelleschi stepped forward with a proposal unlike anything they had heard. The dome would be built without scaffolding. It would support itself from the very first stones. Its strength would come from its geometry. To the council, his ideas sounded like madness. Legend tells that he challenged the architects to make an egg stand upright. Brunelleschi simply cracked its base. To achieve what seems impossible, one must dare solutions others never consider. Florence chose Brunelleschi to lead the greatest construction of the age, yet forced him to share command with his old rival, Lorenzo Ghiberti. The two men who had once fought for a bronze door would now battle over the most daring structure ever attempted. Brunelleschi began the work by designing everything: the machines, the bricks, the workforce, and the very rhythm by which the stones would be laid. Every action on the site was a step in the geometry of a dream. To build a dome where no scaffolding could be raised, Brunelleschi needed solutions no architect had ever dared. He designed not one dome, but two: an inner shell to bear the weight and a heavier outer shell. But the true genius lay in the pattern of the bricks. Brunelleschi arranged them in a herringbone design, spi na perche, each brick wedging the next into place. The forces of gravity pushed inward instead of outward, keeping every new row stable. To prevent the base of the dome from spreading apart, he embedded massive rings of stone, wood, and iron deep within the walls. These tensile chains acted like the muscles and tendons of a living body. And because no existing machines could lift materials to such a height, Brunelleschi invented new ones. He built cranes that could reverse direction without unhitching the oxen. Every tool on the site he designed. He was not merely the architect of a structure, but the architect of construction itself. The work was dangerous and slow. Rivalry burned hotter than the sun above them. Yet day after day, layer after layer, the dome climbed higher. 16 years of relentless effort. And then the sky closed. When the final brick was set, Florence possessed the largest masonry dome ever constructed. No scaffolding had touched the ground. Geometry alone had conquered gravity. What had started as a wound in the skyline had become the greatest symbol of human ingenuity the world had ever seen. With the dome complete, Florence understood that it was witnessing something far greater than a feat of engineering. A new language of architecture had been born, a language that embraced clarity, proportion, and the dignity of human reason. Where Gothic churches reached upward with mystery and fear, Brunelleschi created spaces where geometry brought peace. He replaced soaring, unpredictable structures with clean lines and harmonious ratios inspired by ancient Rome. At the Ospedale degli Innocenti, he introduced a facade unlike anything seen in medieval Europe. For the first time in generations, architecture spoke directly to human scale. He believed that a building should feel understandable, that its beauty should rise from mathematics made visible in stone. Order was sacred. His architecture taught Florentines that reason and faith did not compete. They completed one another. When Filippo Brunelleschi died in 1446, the city placed him beneath the very stones he had lifted into the heavens. Florence understood that it owed him more than a cathedral. It owed him the future. He proved that imagination, guided by knowledge, can reshape the world. Brunelleschi changed what builders believed was possible, and in doing so, he changed humanity itself.